I'm going to do now is I'm going to string or start my crosses across this tennis racket, and I'm going to assume that I don't have a starting clamp and I don't want to use a starting knot, which a lot of people do. So what I'm doing is I initially start my crosses by starting the first cross below the outside main, which on this racket just happens to be the second cross. Okay, I've got both of these strings in here now, and I'm going to pull tension on both of these strings at one time to set my clamp. Okay, I've got tension pulled on both of them. I'm going to set my clamp as far away from the tension head on the second string as I can get it. Okay, I really didn't want to pull tension on these strings. All I wanted to do was set the tension in this clamp so I don't damage my string. Now I'm going to take the top string, I'm going to pull tension on it, I'm going to clamp off the top string. Now I can tie my knot here, and I didn't use a starting knot to tie that. And I can weave my cross string here. I like to go over the first main and under the second main. I don't know that it makes any difference, but I like to do it that way just because I've been doing it that way for who knows how long. If I go over this first main, since there's always an even number of strings across my racket, I have to go under that last main. So if I end up not going under that last main, I know that I've got a misweave. Wow, did I have a problem here. Let me tell you what I've got. I've got a racket that I was stringing for a friend. He's getting it strung up. It's a very old, not that good of a racket. Stringing it up for a child. And since the main strings ended in the head, or excuse me, in the throat, I tied them off at the throat and figured I'd just do it two-piece. The problem is when I got down here, there's only one knot hole, and that's the knot hole that I've used right here. There's no other knot hole that I can see that's readily available. To tell you the truth, I got all the way down to the bottom, tried to get my string in through here. This is a synthetic gut string. It's gamma synthetic gut without the wear guard. And I was trying to put it through every hole that I could probably put it through. It didn't want to fit. I smashed down the tip of the string, I cut it off at an angle, I put paraffin on it, I did just about everything that I could think of, and it didn't want to work. So finally what I did is I took all my strings back out up to this cross right here, because I wanted to use this hole, because this cross comes over across this way, comes down and over this way. So the string that's going through this grommet is all on the bottom side of this grommet. So I figured, well, maybe I can smash my string up through here. So what I did is I pre-ran all my strings. When I pre-ran all my strings, I put the tip of the end of the string into that hole and tried to pull with this string that's coming out through here, tried to pull the end of my string through. I got it in as far as I could get it, then I took my pliers and I clamped down on both strings on the outside, and I pull it through a little bit. As I'm pushing with the pliers, I'm pulling on this cross string here. Then I back up, try to clamp my pliers again, and I pull it with the cross string. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right here is the tip of my string sticking through there. Let me get a close-up for you. Okay, right there is the tip of my string sticking through there. Now I have to make sure that when I pull this string through, because this cross has to come through, I don't yank that string out at the same time. So what I'm going to do is grab the tip of it and pull it through a little bit more. Whoops, if I can get it, it still doesn't want to come through there. I'm going to try to pull it a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to clamp down on the outside, and pull through. At the same time I'm pushing with my pliers, I'm pulling on this cross string. I'm just going maybe a 1/64 of an inch at a time. And hopefully I've got enough so that I can pull that tip through. There we go, finally. Oh my gosh, now I've got another problem. I took this string and ran down here through the mains and everything to run the tip through, and now I don't have enough string to reach back here in my string gripper. I could probably stretch it a little bit, but the problem is if this string right here is being pulled at the same time I'm pulling tension on this one, because it's coming out that way, I don't think I'm going to get all the tension I need on this string. So my handy dandy starting clamp has to help me out. Alright, what I've got here now is the end of the string that somebody, I don't know who that could have been, cut off the end of this string. Ha ha ha. Now what I can do is I can put this string right here in my starting clamp, and then take the two ends of that string on my starting clamp and use my starting clamp as a bridge to pull tension on that string. And I can clamp my string and go right along. Okay, looking at this string here, this cross string comes out this hole and goes in that hole. When I'm stringing my rackets, what I'm doing here now is this racket skipped this hole and this hole on the mains, so they have to be filled by the crosses. When I put the cross through this hole, it came out on the top of the main, so I want to go in the top of that main on this grommet hole. I don't want it to come out here and cross over with an X right in the center or in the middle or whatever, because these strings stick out a little bit and I don't want them overlapping. So I try to make sure that the string that comes out the top goes in the top. Okay, now I'm looking at the opposite side of my racket. The string here went in the top, but I had it to come out the bottom right here. And the reason for that is because I'm going to run this string right here across the bottom and up to my tie-off hole. Then I'll tie it off so that the string will be on the bottom of this string and all the strings all the way up to that tie-off hole. Okay, I've got my crosses all ran in now. Now what I have to do is tie off this last string here. Okay, I want to make sure that that string stays on the bottom all the way through up to that tie-off hole. I've got it up there. Now, what kind of knot am I going to tie on this string right here? I'm going to tie the Wilson knot or the Pro knot, because I think it's the neatest. I think it's the neatest, and it works. Been working for me for about 30 years now.